Hi, welcome to Mapping with the County of Peterborough. Let's take a look at drawing. The drawing tools are located underneath the Tools menu option here. You can see that there's a Draw and Measure section, and the tools themselves are all located from the point. There's a drop-down and you can access either the point feature, a couple of line options, a variety of polygons, or the text. Let's start with point. You get to change the way that things show up by clicking on the Styles button here. And Styles will give you some defaults out of the box. There's also a library here, so you can change the sort of options that are available. And this happens regardless of which sort of drawing tool you're choosing. So if I want to place a green dot, I can do that. If I want a purple, I can also change, if you scroll down to choosing your own image or creating your own style. Let's select an image. There's some image icons that are available from the Shapes option, or I can select from one of the cartographic options or a variety of others. So there's a whole range of choices available to you here. I can select the image size if I want to make it quite large. I can increase the size of it. I can also affect the angle. Let's take a look at what else we have. For lines, there are both lines with, you can see a jagged edge here, or the freehand tool. Freehand also is a style with our polygons. Freehand in either option will give you more of a fluid sort of look, and I'm simply clicking and keeping my left cursor button depressed while I draw, and it's going to fill in where the corners are so that it can create the shape that you're tracing over. With something like the polygon or the line tool itself, you're going to be clicking and I'm going to change the options here for my polygon. Let's make it purple. I'm being pretty intentional about the points that I add to the map. If it doesn't take it at first, go back and very carefully add it. I'm going to double click now to close this shape and then to the polygon. So you can see it's drawn it the way that it's drawn here. Again, I can choose how I want this to show up from the library, or I can create my own. So to create my own style, I'm going to start with the outline color because that's what I like to think about first. Let's make this some sort of green. First, I'm going to select the type of color from the rainbow slider here. And then on the color ramp here, I'm going to drag the point to wherever it is I like it. You can see the RGB values, if that's what you're used to, over here, as well as the actual image of the color up in the top left. So I've got a bright green outline. My line width is 3. Maybe I want to make it wider. And my line style currently is solid. Let's make it a dash dot just to show you that. So we'll go to the color. I'm going to take it back down to greens as well. And this time something a little bit more faint. But I also have the choice, and the same is true on the outline, of changing the transparency. The further to the right I go, the closer to 100, the more opaque it will appear. The closer to 0 I get, the more transparent. And this is true of all tools. So I'm going to end up somewhere down closer to 20, let's say. And I will get a transparent fill. Now your fill style, I'm going to use solid because I want a solid fill similar to what you see on the purple. I could choose a hatch option for many of these, but please note that when you choose a hatch at this time, it is going to come in as black, not a colored line, despite the color chosen here. So now when I go to draw, you can see that I do actually have a green line. And let's see how that turns up when we take a look at our aerial photos, because that's common. So you can see that green fill has been applied, but because I made it a faint green fill, it's showing up just a little bit on top of all of our beautiful wooded areas here. If I want to be able to see straight through to the lakes themselves, I'm going to turn off the background layer because I want to see what the aerial images have for our lakes. So if I want to be able to snap, though, that's another great tool for the polygons. I can turn snapping on, select my snapping layers, It opens up all of the layers that are available in our layer list. And I'm going to start by clearing all to make sure that nothing has been pre-selected. Open up the group of my choice, in this case cadastral, and select parcel fabric. Right now I know that's the only layer that this tool is going to snap to. So I'm zooming out and zooming in, and you can see that I have a black circle that's been drawn. That means somewhere in that circle it's going to snap to a point on the parcel fabric layer. So right now I've got 3 choices at this corner. I'm going to pick this one here, and there's a little white dot that appears on the map. If you can't see it on the video here, it should show up when you're working with it. As I move along the line, if there are no vertices, it's just going to keep sliding along the line, but when it finds a vertex, a place where the angle changes just slightly, it's going to lock on and my circle can move, but the white circle within it stays in the same place, and then I can add my own corner there. So then I can just click along and off I go. I can place a point along the midway point of a line because the snap is going to hold onto it. So you just have to decide whether you want it to be at the corners or not. So let's say I was approximating a place halfway along a line, and then I'm going to double click to end. So now I have a new polygon that I've created that's been snapped to that parcel fabric. I can go in later and I can edit tools, edit what's been drawn. And by clicking edit, you can see that when a tool has been selected, it shows up in blue. I'm going to click on that feature. And I have 2 choices now. I can either change the style. So if I no longer want it to have that green fill, but maybe something a bit more blue, I can change that. Or I could change the fill. Again, maybe let's make something a little more blue, and I'm done. Or you can see that there are points on that polygon. The gray points are the ones that I placed a minute ago. The white points are options. If I want to add a point, I can add a point there. So if I want to change where this gray point is, I don't have to snap it to the edge, although you can see that snapping is still enabled. Or I can move it and then snap it back if I choose. If I want to add another point, maybe there's a jog in the line that I missed earlier, I can click on the white dot, and now it's going to add a point midway between that line. Anywhere you see a white point, you have the option of adding. If it's in gray and I want to get rid of it, I can right click on that and click delete. The other feature once I'm finished, I'm just going to deselect the edit tool, and I'm no longer editing. If I have something I want to get rid of, I can choose the erase tool here. So by clicking on the drop down from edit, I can click on erase. Maybe I want to get rid of that dot that I had there. If there are 2 features intersecting, it will get rid of all of them, although there is a warning before it does that, so that's good. If I want to clear the map of all drawings, I can simply hit clear, and everything will, just zoom out a bit more so you can see, everything will disappear. Gives me the warning, do you want to proceed? Yes, and all of my drawings are gone. Then if I want to leave just a little bit of text, I click on my tool, set my style, and place my text. Thanks for your time. We'll see you again soon.